back to Minnie Makes. My name is Callie, and today we're gonna be making a really delicious no-bake banana pudding. So this recipe is pure heaven. It is absolutely amazing, and there are so many great banana pudding recipes out there, but this one is truly incredible. We're gonna be making it a little bit more sophisticated. We're gonna be making a pastry cream that's rich and luscious. We'll add in a little bit of booze, which is optional, highly recommended, and it is just out of this world, and I can't wait to share it with you. So let's get right into it. But before we begin, as always, please remember to subscribe, like, share, chat in the comment section, and follow me on social media for more recipes and additional content. So let's go over the ingredients. Here we have some sugar, we have a few egg yolks, heavy cream, whole milk, butter, flour, vanilla. I have a little bit of amaretto. Amaretto is a really delicious liqueur. You can omit the booze completely if you don't want to use it, but it does add a lot of flavor and kind of personality and pizzazz. And I love adding it. We also have a little bit of salt. So let's get to it. Okay, so first things first, we're gonna make the pastry cream. And to do that, what we're gonna do, well, what I'm gonna do first is just shuffle a few things around here, but we're gonna warm up the heavy cream along with the whole milk. So I have a pot here. Into this, I'm gonna try not to spill this right now, whoopsies. We're gonna add in the whole milk, the heavy cream, and we're gonna turn this on to about, I would say, medium low, probably a little bit more on the medium low side. And we're gonna let this come to a simmer. You wanna stir pretty much continuously just to make sure that, you know, nothing starts kind of sticking to the bottom. We have a lot of dairy in this pot here. And so we're gonna just let this kind of start simmering. In the meantime, we're gonna get together our other ingredients. So that is, for now, our salt, our sugar, our egg yolks, along with our salt. Just a pinch of salt right there. And I'm gonna also add in my amaretto. And so we're just gonna give this a good whisk until all the ingredients are nice and incorporated. Okay, so this looks great. So to this, we're also gonna add, at this point, our flour, which is also gonna help to thicken up this pastry cream that we're about to make. So just give this a whisk. Okay, this is looking good. So now we're just gonna wait for this to warm up and then we'll proceed. Okay, so my milk is ready to go. I know it's ready to go because it's simmering. I see a bunch of like little bubbles along the sides of the pots. It's not boiling by any means though. So that means it's good to go. So next up, what we're gonna do is called tempering the eggs. What that means is we're gonna add a little bit of the hot liquid at a time into the eggs and whisk immediately and vigorously just to kind of incorporate some of this hot liquid into the eggs, because if we were to put all of these eggs into the pot right away, what's gonna happen is you're gonna get scrambled eggs, and no one wants scrambled eggs. So we're just gonna add a little bit, about a ladleful at a time. You don't have to measure it, and just immediately start whisking. And we're just gonna repeat that about 2 or 3 times, and then the eggs will be up to temperature and we can add them into the pot. Okay, so I'm adding my final ladleful right here. So that's my 4th ladleful of the hot liquid into the eggs. And we're ready to go. So I'm gonna set my ladle down for now. Okie dokie. And now I'm just gonna add the egg mixture into the pot. And immediately you wanna start whisking like we just did. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is just continue whisking this mixture. Don't walk away. You wanna babysit this whole time. We're just gonna whisk for another few minutes until the mixture starts to thicken up. I'll show you a really good indicator of that will let you know if the mixture is thick enough when the time comes. But for now, just continue whisking, and once it kind of starts to simmer, you'll notice some kind of like bubbles here and there. That's also another good indicator that the mixture is starting to thicken up. But this is gonna take a few minutes, not too long. So I'm just gonna continue stirring, and I will show you once this is nice and thick. Okay, so here we go. This did not take long at all. I've just been stirring continuously, and I can tell that my mixture has thickened up quite a bit. And you can really tell just by looking at it, but if you're not sure, one indicator could be to take your wooden spoon, slide your finger down the center. If the mixture stays separated, it's good to go. And mine is very thick. And like I said, I don't know how much you could tell on camera, but you could pretty much see visually like that your mixture is thickening up. You should not have a problem knowing whether or not it's thick enough. Okay, so what I have here is just the same bowl I used earlier for the eggs. It's nice and large, and I have a fine sieve just resting over the top, and I'm gonna pour this mixture over the fine sieve, and what that's gonna do is it's gonna catch any like maybe curdled bits that could have happened from the eggs going in the hot liquid, just to ensure everything is nice and smooth. Okay, so I added all of my liquid to the fine sieve and just kind of give it a stir. It'll help the last bits of the custard move through the sieve a little bit quicker. And you can see here, I mean, I don't know if you can see, but I can see here. There's definitely some like little curdled pieces, so that's why we run it through the sieve, just to prevent any of that. At this point, you wanna add that butter. And it's like, we've already come this far, why not add just a little bit of butter to just add even more richness and creaminess. And at this point, we're also gonna throw in our vanilla, of course. Just give this a stir until the butter's combined, the vanilla's nice and incorporated, and then we'll finish this up. Okay, so now that we have this beautiful pastry cream, what we want to do is let it cool down slightly, not completely, but just a little bit before we pop this into the refrigerator for 4 hours. And a good way to kind of speed up that cooling process is to just stir. So just stir for a few minutes, and I've been stirring for a little while, and it's about good to go. So what I'm gonna do next, I have a table down there, is just cover this with plastic wrap, but it's really important that the plastic wrap touch the top of the custard, because if you don't, and you just cover the bowl with the plastic wrap, what's gonna happen is you're gonna get like a kind of nasty film over the top of the custard, and nobody wants that. So that's why I wanted to cool this a little bit before we put plastic on top of it. So just like so, push the plastic down like this. Okay, so now that this is nice and covered, this goes into the refrigerator for 4 hours, and after the 4 hours, we'll finish assembling this banana pudding, and the rest of this recipe is a breeze, trust me. So the hard part is over, and it really wasn't even that hard. So I'll see you in a few hours. Okay, so we are back. It is 4 hours later, and my custard is nice and chilled, ready to go. And here, what we have is some heavy cream that we need to whip to stiff and peak. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I'll show you what that looks like once it's done. Okay, so this is good to go, and I know it's good to go because it's kind of at the consistency of like Cool Whip at this point. So once you can hold the whipped cream like this, you know it is nice and thickened and ready. Okay, so next up what I'm gonna do is add in my heavy cream into the custard. I'm gonna add about half of it, just eyeball it, doesn't have to be exact. And what we're gonna do is just gently fold in the heavy cream. So if you're not familiar with folding, what you're doing is taking your spatula and running it around the bottom and through the center of the custard. And this just kind of ensures that you don't lose any of that air that you whipped into the heavy cream. So once it's like almost all the way incorporated, add the remaining heavy cream and just continue folding it in. Okay, so everything is nice incorporated, and it is so good. It is taking all of my willpower not to eat this right now. So next, I'm gonna set this aside for a second, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna add our wafers and our bananas. So just really traditional vanilla wafers. I'm even using an off-brand, doesn't matter. We're just gonna add a layer of these to cover the bottom of a 9x13" pan. Like so. I'm just gonna dump some out and straighten them out. And then I have some sliced bananas, of course. This is banana pudding after all. So I'm just gonna add a pretty neat layer. It doesn't need to be neat. I don't know why I said that. Just a layer. No one's gonna see what's going on down here. If you need to kind of break the vanilla wafers to have them fit a little better, go ahead and do that. Okay, so I'm just gonna add a full layer of the vanilla wafers. Once I'm done, I'm gonna add a full layer of the bananas, and then we'll continue. Okay, so now that that's finished, I'm gonna add about half of my custard mixture and just pour it over the top and reserve the other half for later. So now I'm just gonna smooth this layer over this, like so. Okay, so next we're just gonna repeat that process, a layer of vanilla wafers, a layer of bananas, and then the remaining custard over the top. Okay, so for the hardest part of this whole recipe, this needs to go in the refrigerator overnight. I know, it's so tempting to just eat this right now, but you have to trust me, the longer it sits in the refrigerator, the better it's gonna be. So I'm gonna cover this with plastic wrap, pop it into the refrigerator, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, so 24 hours later, we have this beautiful and decadent and rich and creamy and just everything wonderful banana pudding that is just great for every and all occasions, and you're absolutely gonna love it. So, as always, for the full written recipe and instructions, head to myblogmimimakes.com. I'll put the link for that in the description box below. Click on the link, the recipe will come right up, and make this banana pudding. I promise you're gonna love it, and let me know what you think because I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.